Welcome to the ESP Seating tutorial 6 Simple Steps, where we will show you the quickest possible method to produce your first seating plan. We have tried to make ESP Seating as powerful and flexible as possible, but this also means that there can be lots of different methods to produce the same result. By giving you the quickest method in this tutorial, we can also point out some of the other features along the way. Page 1. Descriptions. This refers to descriptions of both you and your institution, and it allows ESP Seating to both sort and secure data that you load to the system. If we go to the first page that you see when you install ESP Seating, you'll first be asked for both your name and your title. You will then need to enter a 4-digit security code that will unlock the data if you do not have fingerprint recognition. Finally, you need your user code. This is so if it is found in any data files, the system knows that the information refers to you. Our next page allows us to change the names of various entities within the organisation. If you are happy to use the names student and teacher, then essentially you can skip straight through this page. The next page continues the description of the organisation, including the school name, its structure, and whether it has a 1 or a 2-week timetable. Once you've selected the correct information for your organisation, then you can click on the green Continue button. The next page allows you to pinpoint the school's physical location using either your phone's GPS or Google Maps. This is used as an additional security mechanism, as it means that your data cannot be accessed unless you are within a set radius of this location. If you are currently located at your institution and you have your GPS switched on, then you should see your coordinates appear on the screen, at which point you can simply click Save and move on to the next page. In the case of Android devices, this will be to record your Wi-Fi router name. This provides a faster mechanism for confirming your location. All you need to do is select your router name from the drop-down box and click on Save. Our next step is to import group lists, and in order to achieve this you will need a OneDrive personal account and CSV files. Your organisation's own systems may well be able to export data in this format already. On the screen now we have some sample data in an Excel format. To produce our CSV or comma separated values file, all we need to do is click on Export here, then click on Change File Type, and finally select CSV, delimited from the options. On our device now we should see the file retrieval screen. If we click on Group CSV File, this will then allow us to log in to our OneDrive personal account. The first time we do this, the system will create a directory on the OneDrive account which will allow us to place files on there and for them to be collected by ESP Seating. First though, we have to transfer the files into that directory, and to do that we log on through our browser, select the directory that's just been created, and then drag and drop the file from Explorer into the directory. Here we can see it transferring now. Now we have that connection established, if we go back to our file retrieval page and click Group CSV File, we can see that here is the file that we've transferred, and when we click on the download button we go straight to a new page which reads the first line of data. So this group is a class, its members are students, there's no header row because we're looking at the first row of data. In this case our group names are actually listed on our data file, which means we don't need this line either. But what we can see is that our forename and surname and our date of birth of our first student is all listed in these fields. All we need to do from this point is make sure that our date format listed in the drop-down box matches up with the data shown in the field. Once we've done that, click on Load to Database and your data is securely loaded onto the system. So in this one step we've created all of our groups and created records for all of the students that belong to them. We are now ready to go on to stage 4, which is our day timings. And in this section we are able to create specific timetables for different days or different groups. So let's take a look at this page and see what we can do. For our simplified approach, all we're going to do is we're going to list the periods of the day and the times that they actually occupy. But we can see from the options below that we can apply these to either specific groups or to particular days. So here we're going to put in periods 1 to 5 and then enter the times that they start and finish. Once this is done, we can click on Save, and that's us ready to now upload our timetable. So if we click on the green Next Page button, we can use exactly the same process as we did for the group downloads to now upload our timetable. So firstly, we need our CSV file. Drag that onto our OneDrive account, and then on our device, select the file, click Download, and we are onto the page to line up our data and load this to the database. So again, this page has read the first line of the data, and we can see that we've got our day here, period name, group name, and our subject and room. So we need to make sure that the day in the data file matches up with the format in the drop-down box. Once we've done this, we're essentially ready to go. If we were importing timetables for lots of different teachers, then we would need to make sure that the teacher ID is also mentioned in one of the columns. However, as we've left this blank, you'll see that when we click Upload to Database, the system checks to make sure that the data is ours and then uploads the timetable information. If we now click on the Home button and then on Timetable, you can now see that your timetable is displayed, along with any group, room, and subject information. That means that we are now ready to go on to our next stage, setting up the rooms. Here we use a grid-based system that's both quick and simple to use. So if we click on one of the periods that we've logged onto our timetable, the system checks for any room or seating plan information. As we haven't saved any yet, the system will automatically take us to the room setup page. The first thing that we need to do once we're on this page is to establish the grid of the room. What this means is the minimum number of squares both across and down that can describe all of the places within the classroom. In this example, we're going to use a grid size of 10 seats by 8. Once we have our grid, all we then need to do is to click on the places to denote where the seats actually are and create our room layout. So I have 2 seats here, then a space, then 2 seats, etc, etc. Until finally I've got my entire grid populated and here is my room. This layout can then be used for any subsequent groups you need to place, but for the time being I can just click on Save and the system will take me to the next page where I can create my seating plan. So our first student is shown here on the left, and all I need to do is to click on the seat where they are going to be placed. I then repeat this process for all of the other students. If I make a mistake, I can click on the swap mode and change 2 students away, click on Swap Us, and those 2 students have been exchanged. Once all of our students are in place, I just need to click on Save, and that's our process complete. We have our first seating plan, and it's taken less than 8 minutes to actually describe. There is, of course, far more that can be done with ESP Seating, including photos, student details, and of course focus register information. To get more details on these, please see the other videos in this series. And thanks for listening.